All right, one of the big key features of this app is training maps. This will take you right to your location. It's a very detailed map that you'll be able to move around, and that little blue dot is your location. Now, this is twistable, meaning you can rotate the map either clockwise or counterclockwise. But here's what I suggest you do first. You add your wind vector. Say the wind was out of the southwest. Now, that little blue dot is where I'm at right now, but let's say I had a training session down here on my little subdivision pond. Okay, now I'm going to twist that so we're oriented north to south. So the wind is blowing out of the southwest. Let's say I come down here and I tap at the bottom of the pond, and now you've got all this menu options here when you tap on a map. So at the very top are special, and we'll get into that in a minute. But you have L for line. That's the black box with the L in it. HL is an honor on the left, and LH is the line with an honor on the right. So let's just place an L. So we've got an L1 right there. And let's just say we're going to run a bunch of blinds. So I got blind 1, I got blind 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's say I wasn't happy with where blind 4 was. I can tap and hold, and then I can move this anywhere I want. I can do the same for the line. If the line wasn't quite right, I can move it, and all the lines will be moving with me. So it's draggable. So if you press and hold, everything is draggable. So now you've got yardage for each blind. How far was it? Now let's say that little box with the 73 was in the way. I can press and hold, and I can drag that to the bottom. Or let's say I want to drag it onto the red line. You can drag anything you want on here. So that's an example of blinds, but I'm going to hit the delete button. I'm going to delete all. And let's put in a line. And let's say we're going to run 3 blinds. Okay, so we're going to do what's called a walk around blind. So that was line 1. Now let's say I came over here to the right. I'm going to hit line again. There's line 2, and I'm running the same 3 blinds. Now that gave me an L2 with yellow dotted lines. And then let's say I moved all the way over here, and I'm going to hit L again. Now I have L3. Now I've got all these orange dotted lines. So I had this request, which I thought was very complex, but it is an option in your app. If you want to run blinds and you want to do a walk around scenario and then draw out different colors so you can actually see what they are, this will give you that option. Now, it gets way too complicated if you add in the yardage markers for L2 and L3. And then you're adding a whole bunch of data in there that's going to be way too overwhelming. So you're only going to get the yardage markers off the first L1. All right, let's get rid of that. So let's do a marking scenario. So I'm going to put an L down here. I'm going to tap over here, and I'm going to put GS. That's a yellow dot for gun station. This gun station is going to do a flat throw. And you can see the red dotted line from the line to the mark is 150 yards. And then the yellow dot and the white dashed line is the arc of the throw. Again, I can move this anywhere I want. Not only can I move that, but let's say the gun station wasn't quite right, and I moved it over there. So everything's movable. That 105, I can take and move it anywhere I want. Let's say that was Mark 1. So M1 would be an up gun. Then let's add in a retired mark. That's what the RMs are for. So the next mark would be a retired mark. Oh, look at that. I forgot to add the gun station. That's okay. Do and undo. Come in here. I'm just tapping on the map. Just one tap, and now I can put the yellow dot, and then I can put R2. So that's a retired mark number 2, 207 yards. Then let's say down here, we're going to throw a flyer out into the water. And of course, that was number 3. Now, I can't do that in a subdivision, but this gives you an idea of what the map can do. Then let's say we're going to add in a couple of blinds. And now it becomes very powerful. So now if I actually twist the map, you can see everything kind of rotates with you. All the M1s, the M2, the blinds, they're all oriented from north to south. And you can see the wind vector change up on the top right to tell you that the wind is out of the southwest and stays out of the southwest. But by rotating it, you're changing your axis, and the southwest wind will stay true. Now, here is the power of the map session. Save. If I save this, I have lots of options. Save to a training log. Remember the training log? Now it's the exact same training log as I showed you a moment ago. So you don't have to save a map and then go back and do a log session. You can do it right here. It's going to tie in the map and the log session to the dog you have selected. However, let's say I ran both radar and river. So I can select them both, little check marks. So I'm going to do both. Let's say they all did excellent work. Of course, this was water. This was blinds. This was marks. Was general training. Difficulty, let's say it was intermediate. And then I can leave some session notes down here at the bottom. Then I can save that if I want. Now let's go back to the save again. You can also do a saved setups. So if I hit save setups, it's going to, you can give it a name, and then you can search the property name and notes. So you can see subdivision pond, test grounds, etc., etc. Then you hit save session, save again. You can export it at the map as a PDF, and it should export all the markers, the red lines, along with a satellite map. You can share via code. What in the world is that? I'm going to hit share via code. Look at this. Set up, ready to share. It's going to give you a unique 6-digit code. I'm going to hit share. Now it's going to ask me, who do I want to share this with? Probably going to text that code to one of my friends. If they have the app, you can text them this code. And so they can go into the app and they can come up here to import. And then you just have to type in that code, and then it's going to bring this map up, and it's only going to be visible to the people you give the code to. How cool is that? Now, come down the list. I can post this into the community. And again, I can import a code if your friend gives you a code. So let's talk about the community. So that gives you a pretty good idea of what the map is. Next, we're going to take a look at the community tab.